So I always find myself on the other side, when they're arguing. And I was telling her, everybody shouting Tinubu, 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 especially with regards to this insecurity. And I was saying the problem we have as Africans is that we don't study history. And it's so painful that the history I'm talking about is not 100 years ago. It's just about 10 years ago.
Just about 10 years ago.
What we are seeing this in the past couple of months, we have seen it before. 2019, right? Just before 2018, 2019, just before the elections. That was when Chibok girls were kidnapped.
Actually.
That was the election that brought in Buhari. That was the peak of bombing in Nigeria. So it's what I was just thinking about this morning as I was meditating was that I believe that there is a carcass in this country. It's just that we don't know them. In the United States, you know them. You talk about the Rockefellers, you talk about the Clintons. Those are people that without them, decisions can't be made. But we have those people in Nigeria, but they seem to be faceless. And if it was not happening to Tinubu, I would have been thinking that they work for Tinubu. I would have thought that, he's the one in charge of that group.
They were there during Buhari time.
Yeah. So if it happened then, happened to Goodluck, happened to Buhari, now we're seeing it even in Tinubu's government.
So it's not it.
Yeah.
It's a sustainable, something that has been there. That there's a trick.
Once those guys are not happy with you, you start seeing all this kind of thing.
Actually, once they are not happy, you just see. But however, I feel it went up. It's skyrocketed, right? The insecurity. Like, to be honest, right, it's more consecutive, do you understand, compared to how it was before. Then at least we can make reference to Chibok girls now.
Yeah.
It's a significant one. You understand? We can make reference to bombings too. I also experienced one bombing in the north like that, in the church, and then a bit of religious crisis, right? But for now, just think about it. Just within 1 year now, we had that of Kwara State. Do you understand? Packing a whole lot, 100 and something. And funny enough, they returned some of them.
Yeah.
How did they come back? We don't know. Was there a negotiation behind? Was there a communication? Was there something up behind? We don't know. We have zero idea about that. Do you get what I'm saying, right? So that makes us inquisitive, curious. That what's actually going on.
Yeah.
Is there something that, maybe there's an agreement that was supposed to be done, and then there is, somebody breached the contract. So, all of those things are bringing, and then see the one we are talking about lately again now, that of Ogbomoso, real estate. You understand? It's crazy. Slaughter somebody. You have TikTok accounts. So, that's why the person you're speaking with might want to, and then for some people too, they don't know history, just like you said. If you have not been reading for so long, you know that the matter of insecurity no be today home.
It's not.
During Abacha time, who is this? Babangida. People left their places, especially in this north. They went to southwest. Do you understand? Especially Yoruba people. They have to leave their terra firma.
Yeah.
So I think it's also the knowledge of history, and then
election, pre-election season. That's where we are in now. So many of the violence in Nigeria, history will teach us that it actually occurs just before election. So, and for me, why I've decided, I'm still thinking about what I'm going to vote for. That's just the truth. The reason is because I'm looking at the problems that we have in this country, and I'm thinking about somebody who is strong enough. It takes a lot of will to turn any nation around. If you look at the history of the international system, as a whole now, the whole of the world, you talk about the likes of Niccolo Machiavelli, you talk about the likes of Otto von Bismarck, even this man from Gaddafi. These are people that were termed rebels, quote unquote. But eventually, you cannot say one or two things about the prospering of their nations right now without mentioning them. Apart from Gaddafi, who, of course, the US thwarted, most of his agendas. And so I'm just looking at our leaders, and I'm thinking, who is stubborn enough? We need somebody that is very stubborn to Western influence, the kind of stubbornness that Abacha had, and stubborn to internal pressure. where everybody shouting, no, and the person is saying, no, this is the way we are going. It's the same thing that Trump is doing with the MAGA initiative, Make America Great Again.
Okay.
A lot of the Democrats and most of the population in America, they are shouting, but he knows where he's steering the country to. So we need somebody who believes in Nigeria. I think that's the first point.
The belief
that we can see that for all Trump's faults, he's obsessed with America.
Actually, you're right. Yes, I believe.
So when I look at these leaders, I'm just looking at who is obsessed
about the country
with Nigeria and has a picture. When they released the MAGA files before Trump ran again for a second term, we could see all the things that he's doing now. He said it. Do you understand? He said it. He's going to make it more difficult for people to come in, make America, great again. Make America for America, by America. He said it. He put those things in the document. People looked at it as white extremism. But for me, I just see it as somebody who knows where he's going to. I don't see that amongst all the people that are running. All of them, if you ask me, including Obi, yes, including Obi, I've not seen somebody who has both the tenacity. I mean, look at the crisis in ADC now. I'm just wondering, just a small crisis, and he took off. I'm just wondering that the pressure of Nigeria is the greatest black nation on the earth today.
Definitely. Absolutely.
In all ramifications.
Yeah. Absolutely.
In 2016, we emerged, I think, the first or the second greatest. We had the greatest army base on land in the world.
Are you serious?
Either 2016, 2017, between 2016 and that's that period. The intricacies, and we're not the only people interested. Everybody across the world is interested in Nigeria. Today, China has found a way to infiltrate our markets. All the prices of cars are crashing down today because we have the likes of Chang'an, we have the likes of M something, they are everywhere. Everybody is interested because we have the market.
Yes.
So I'm looking at who has the character, who has the strength, the strong will to back up their character, and has something like a document, let me say, that say, okay, this is my vision for this country, this is where I believe, and I'm willing to stake my reputation, stake everything. So for me, until we get there, until we get somebody who is obsessed
in the country,
it will still take some time.
So with what we are, the available choices now, you feel Nigeria will still be the same in the next 10 years?
With the available choices, yes.
Wow.
And this is what I'm saying. So character-wise, if you look at all the people on the ballots, or the people that are running, character-wise, we can say Peter Obi is the cleanest, at least from the information that we have, what the media has told us.
I like that.
Yes, it's an informed, deduction.
Yeah.
That okay, so since they are saying, oh, no corrupt cases, no history of embezzlement, based on all those things, Peter Obi is the cleanest.
Okay.
So that speaks to character. So we can say, okay, this is somebody we can trust our resources with. But my question then is, yes, character is taken care of. Then what about the strong will? I was telling somebody this. If you understand, my first degree was in political science. As a political scientist, under the tenets of democracy, if you are to list countries that are democratic in the world today, you can't list Nigeria.
Oh.
I remember we wrote a test, and some of us that mentioned Nigeria, we lost some marks, so I mean, when you write a test, many times you know exactly what you're expecting to get. When some of us saw our scripts, we went to meet the man that asked what's going on, He sat us down in his office. The man who took that course, coincidentally, now he's even late, but he fought in the Civil War, right? So
this particular
this particular man, so he's
well informed.
Yes, he's not just speaking from what he read, it's also what he lived. He was telling us that he can't explain to us the intricacies of what makes Nigeria and how we can't even call it a democratic state. I'll give you a very practical example. Under the kind of democracy or the kind of system of government that we're practicing, the president, or on paper, they will tell you that power is concentrated at the middle. Right? It's not like the US where governors have a larger say about their states than the president. In Nigeria, everything, that's why Abuja is crowded. Everything is concentrated in the middle. So power is concentrated in the middle. So one will think, following those tenets of democracy, that the president will be the most powerful person. But it's not true. I'll give you a very practical example. When Sanusi left CBN, the position of CBN governor, it was less than 48 hours. His transition from CBN governor to Emir of Kano was less than 48 hours. Within that time, the president did everything in his power to make sure that they get him, because the moment he became the Emir, he became untouchable. In the north, for example, we have emirs who are more powerful than their governors.
Actually.
More powerful than the president in their areas. So under what area in democracy gives room for that?
We coined it out.
So which now begs the question that, are we even practicing what
democracy?
So that's why I said that, it's
more of culture.
Yes.
Than democracy.
And yes, they say that Greece, Athens, they are the fathers of democracy, but we know the United States to be the modern parents of democracy. But people forget that the United States looked within themselves and they said, let us create a government for ourselves. Nobody brought US together. Right? They came together, each of the states, and that's why they call themselves the United States. Each of those states had individual powers. Each of those communities had individual powers. And that's why till today, a governor in the US is more powerful than the president in his state. There are certain decisions that the US president wants to take. If it's not something of national security or maybe around state of emergency, if it's just normal political decisions, he can't take certain decisions without the governor. So based on all these their intricacies, they came up with a system of government that suits them. Why does democracy suit them? Because first of all, a good number of them are aware, so they can make informed decisions. Now they've looked at it that this state is small, this state is small, this state is small. When we come together, this is what we can achieve. So we come together, we appoint somebody who will rule us. Come to Nigeria. The case is not the same. People are still, struggling around the amalgamation that occurred in 1914. We are still trying to grasp our minds around the fact that yes, we are supposed to say, okay, democracy means equal numbers, right? So the person that has the more votes. But we now have, so if they say Nigeria was divided in 1914 between the north and the south, for example. Now the north is alone. Already the north in that division is bigger than the south. That is, if the whole south should come together, the whole south is not still as large as the north. Now guess what? The south is not now together. So we now have southwest, we have southeast, and we have south-south. What that means is that anybody who is going to wield political power under the tenets of democracy must align with the north.
Yeah, actually.
So if you even look at that, can we really have free and fair elections?
Some people are also thinking of the Biafra, whatever.
Yeah, the Civil War, it had a role to play.
A very major role.
It had a role to play, but all those things still came as a result of those people in the southeast and some parts of the south feeling a bit marginalized.
Okay.
Because it just feels like the southeast and the south they are sort of on their own. Most coalitions we see between the north and the southwest. At least we see that through history. But the south and the southeast, although now narratives are beginning to change, and the south they are beginning to realize that we have to come together. The North is always together. Always together. Today, if the North decide that this is the president we want, it's either you are lying or you leave it.
But do you know, sometimes, right, since education is not really in the North, they make uninformed decisions.
I agree.
Do you get what I'm saying? And their uninformed decision, right, sometimes lead Nigeria astray.
I agree.
So even though we don't see that seemingly unity in the South, do you get what I'm saying? And then we have the population too, and population too is also a factor that we should consider.
Yes.
Population is there for naught. Do you understand? Like only Kano, which is the most populous state, right, in Nigeria, and we are talking about numbers. So it doesn't take you so much to convince the illiterate or the non-intellectual. Jamaha, this is the person that is going to lead us, and is our cultural whatever, is our traditional man. Let's follow him, everybody. So, but for South, we are more, calculative, rational in our thought processes, and then and that is where you see division of. There's no force together.
Yes.
There's no togetherness, because this one is rational, this one is thinking about this, and some are also selfish too, because we are interested in power. You see, Southwest, my people, very interested in power. Do you get what I'm saying? And with that, you will see division, you will see betrayal, you won't see that unity among them. Do you understand? So, for it, seriously speaking, that is what is making that democracy, that word democracy, just like you said, not a firm word, not something we can rely on in Nigeria. You get it? But still yet, it's still something that we work with, which is, the democratic, not an autocratic way of leadership. Do you get what I'm saying? So, I feel if perhaps we could monitor our electoral processes, be as clean as possible. There is a board, there is a system or a structure set up to be as fair and honest as possible. Do you get what I'm saying, right? So the thing could come out, the democracy, the word democracy, the rule or the power to the people, right?
The government of the people, for the people and by the people.
And by the people. So if we allow that, and then we could be having
so then the question will now be, who will bring about these changes in our electoral process?
So to be honest with you, right, now the question has returned back to me. The question is now back to me. Who will bring? Because I love the way you put it the other time, that what media has given to us about each and every one of them.
Yeah.
I have friends who are obsessed about the ruling party now, before they were elected in, that this is the time Nigeria is going to change. I know pastors who left their pulpits intentionally campaigning for this current government, that this is where Nigeria is going to have it. Do you understand? At the time, you will be having, I think we should give it a try.
Yeah.
Do you understand? And the media has given us evidences that, okay, there are past records, there are Lagos, a lot of things, Lagos, all of those things like that. Okay, let's see. You understand? So, in a way, I'm not even really blaming them. Do you understand? Because they also had results. They had evidences they know, they have seen. Do you get what I'm saying? It is now some people could be regretting, or some people could be pointing hands to those who.
So, since we're talking about politics, I think the challenge that we also have is that we pay a lot of attention to the president. Let me just say this, right? That you have done well in a state doesn't mean you do well in Nigeria. State politics and federal politics, my God, they are like two different things entirely. Two different things. When you are governor of a state, your greatest opposition or your greatest challenge, is maybe your fellow governors, which are at most 35 or 34. If you're taking, if you're taking yourself out and taking the FCT out, about 34.
Okay.
Do you understand? Then maybe the president, But when
still under the same country.
Still under the same country. It's a controlled system.
The traditional way of doing things.
When you come to the federal level, the game is different.
I agree.
You are battling the governors, the senators, like every other thing within, then
International body.
the international body. My master's degree is in international relations. So when you enter that international realm, the conversation changes totally. It's a different ball game entirely.
It's a different ball.
So that's why I'm saying, yes, thank God for what each and every one of them was able to achieve as governors. But I'm just asking myself, like, is this enough? Did you face this kind of pressure as a governor?
There is more to being a president.
Yes, and so I was talking about how we focus on the president. If we really understand, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and I was telling him that half of the roads that when you see, you say, "Oh, Tinubu," it's actually not Tinubu. Half of those roads, or a good number of them, should be done by the governors. So that's why they are. So in every state, there are state roads.
Yeah, they are federal
roads. And even the little things like covering, potholes, which at least the local government chairman should oversee. People still expect that the president should come from Aso Rock to Ikotek Bene, for example, to cover your potholes. So we don't even understand this whole democracy. We don't understand it. We don't know where to hold. Let me give you a very practical example. When the president came in, president was signing a lot of bills when he came. It was, everywhere.
The current president.
Yes, he was signing everywhere. And one of those things that he signed was giving each state the authority to generate their own electricity. Is what Alex Otti took advantage of.
Okay.
Every state in this country today has
the power to.
Yes, they have the freedom because they've all been given allocation.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yeah, the annual budgets.
Yes.
Budgeted.
So even
and in trillions.
In trillions, some in billions. So the president must have sat down and is like, okay, let me even see what each and every one of you can do. Then we have the local government chairman, which the constitution spells out some of their responsibilities. It's true that some of the parts of the constitution needs to be changed. Because, for example, if you still go for NYSC today, they give you, I think, is 1,000 or 3,000 something for transports. For some people, yeah, there's I think when something like that. I've forgotten the exact. I mean, and this is transportation, because then it was by bicycle, yeah. But now nobody comes from one place to the other with bicycle, So I'm saying that to say that through some aspect of our constitution needs to be amended to face our current realities. But apart from that, there are still other places where are still obtainable. We should go back to the constitution as a nation and start knowing where to call
who exactly am I to call?
Who is responsible for this? Who is responsible? And this is what I think, if all our governors are doing what is right, if all our senators, our local government chairmen, our House of Rep. I was telling somebody that all the laws that you think, even the money people are shouting, Tinubu borrowed money. Tinubu cannot borrow money if House of Rep does not approve it. He can't.
The House of Rep or Senate.
So it's the House of Representatives. Those things normally used to confuse me, right? But the point is that there are a group of people that approve all those things. Yeah. What are they doing? Nobody's calling their names. We need, for some of those things to be passed, Constitution says that we need 2/3 majority of the House. So the question is
exactly. So it's not only one person now. There are a group of people after the president has come up with. If those things are so ridiculous, when it gets those things past first reading, second reading, you should go and read. Where is it?
You know what I'm saying?
This is a very
there are so many things that we should be looking at before you even start shouting president. Yes, we understand that when you're a leader, you are the face and everything, but there are still some places. For example, where I worked, You know, my last place of engagement, I use as an example, is a building. Right, in the building, there are places that should be cleaned. We have a cleaner. Do you understand? There's somebody who is supervising the cleaner. So what we do sometimes in Nigeria is just like coming to an office and you start shouting the owner of the office like, why is this place dirty?
Very good illustration, to be honest.
And there are people that are paid who you should, walk up to and say, excuse me, this place has not been cleaned. So we should get back, and everything boils down to information. I dare to say that most of us in Nigeria, the greatest level of information we have is just some 2 minutes clip on TikTok, 5 minutes clip on Instagram, at most 15 minutes to 1 hour clip on YouTube, on issues that are over almost hundreds of years. Is not enough. So we need to get back to that place of sitting down and asking ourselves questions like, who is responsible when it comes to accountability? We are shouting. One of the things that makes democracy unique is that there should be accountability. But people don't even know who is supposed to be accountable.
I'm just thinking of what system can we do to enlighten people about how the system works. Interpret the constitution for people. Know people who are responsible for whatever. Do you understand?
Yeah.
When that knowledge is there, right, I think our church will reduce. Do you get it? When you know that this person is responsible for this, and then is also accountable for it. Do you understand? Anytime you be calling anybody out for irresponsibility, you know who to point to directly.
True.
Do you get what I'm saying? And again, this is another point where those who point to the leader are not really at fault. Is your laxity too as a leader. When you come in and then you see a place dirty, do you understand what I'm saying? As a leader, right? If I'm also accountable, or if I'm also intentional about my country, and what was that word you used the other time? I think is it deliberate or obsessed? I like that word, obsessed. If you are obsessed about your office, every day before dishing out, you take responsibility. The person who is supposed to monitor that cleaner, how far with your work?
I agree.
What did you do this week? What is your plan for next week? What is going on now? Do you understand? So if I told you now be calling him out, he know who to call directly. Alpha, I've allocated a specific amount of money for you to buy whatever you need. Buy detergents, buy the water system is still running. What exactly do you need? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right? So if as a leader too, I'm lazy, not proactive, and then obsessed about my craft and about the place of work, sometimes we see things like that too. So the arrow,
yes, pointing back is a collective responsibility. Yes. I tell my siblings and every other person that joins me in a car, if you know me very well, you can't see me beat a traffic light. That is, yesterday, where was I headed to yesterday? I was in a hurry, but when I got to the traffic lights, I had to stop. And I tell people that, the little things like this, it's a collective responsibility, sir. Nigeria does not belong to anybody. It is all our own. Up until, I remember there was a time that I had to block somebody with my car. We were coming from GSM village. Yes, and one lady, early in the morning, taking her children to school, she was coming and she followed one way. My God, I blocked her. I blocked her. I drove my car. My sister said, I said, no, hold on. And I said, madam, turn this car back. We must get to that place where if you can't call the person in your street out for doing something wrong, is it the president you want to call? We have not started taking collective, and they are looking at us and they are watching us. They can't take you seriously. They can't. They cannot take you seriously. Little things like littering the road. You finish eating gala, there are a lot of spaces in the car. There was a time that I had to drop my car. I changed where I normally was the guy. And the guy, God, you have so many gala. Why all these things? Why are there so many? I say, I actually forget when I come down to take them out. If I'm eating, no matter, there are spaces. Put it inside your car. It's not for the road. Those things go out, they clog. Everybody say, Badjo, the little road that we have, rain is falling now, places are flooded. If you check those flood causes, it's all those your gala, your biscuit. It's biodegradable waste. It does not decompose. The whole place, we are collectively messing Nigeria up. And then when you finish beating traffic lights, throwing your waste outside, then you get online and say change the government. I can't vouch for 90% of Nigerians, if they get to that place, that they'll do better. Because you can see it from the little thing. Just a place, there's this roundabout, the first one is supposed to be for, if you are coming like this, if this is a roundabout, for example, this place, right, is for people that are coming from the back, right? You that are going, you are supposed to go like this way. Just the distance from here to here, people want to cut it. And I was coming back from church on Sunday, and I was telling my younger brother that, you see, anybody that can cut this corner, the kind of corner they will cut in political office. I'm just telling you the truth. I'm just telling you. This is just such a little. How much fuel are you saving, sir? How much fuel are you saving? So we all need to get to a place where, personally, I love this country so much. Maybe it was because of the kind of people that I sat under, as the kind of people that lectured me. Like I said, I had somebody who fought in the Civil War, also part of my lecturers teaching us political science. So sometimes we'll have classes, and after the class, everybody will be silent. Everybody will be sad because we just have an idea that we are not where we need to be. And I'm telling you, responsibility is from down to up. I tell people that every politician, every leader is first in Nigeria. Nobody is born a president. Even if you are the president's son, you are first of all born as in Nigeria. Every leader we have today is first in Nigeria. So what you do, there's a part of scripture that says that just as the morning shows the day. So for somebody who is just a civilian, you're seeing how they are cutting corners in their office. You want to, you can just imagine what they will do when they get to those parts. So that's why for me, I'm still thinking and I'm still looking like, have we really gotten it right?